Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm looking at the screen. Every time you go away and come back, something changes. My name has changed. It didn't change by itself. I did it because GQUAT Traditions is a funny way to spell things. And if people put my name in, I will be showing a lot of my quilts starting next year again. And I want my name to be visible, nothing to hide. So I want to thank those of you who are, first of all, the moderators. Maria Graham, you were in here first. I'd like to thank those of you in the bushes, subscribers, friends, and family members, and those of you who participate in the channel in any way at all. My nose is kind of sniffly. I'm hoping my screen is clearer today. I cleaned it. Mike's Chaotic Gardening loves to tell us when he's in the ads and helping the channel his way. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Michael. Michael, what did I see your score? Oh, fighting with the bees. I, I was trying to think that on Thursdays, I try to kind of take it easy and look at other channels while doing other things. It's about the only day of the week that I get a little break. Most people, well, a lot of people who work or have work pursuits are busy Monday through Friday, have the weekend off. But my weekend, I know Maria Graham, I just took it out. Maria Graham asked me where my hair clip is. She gave me the most beautiful hair clip for my birthday, and it matches all my neutral stuff. It's like kind of leopardy, animal printy, and I've been wearing it. I changed clothes and combed my hair, Maria, and I when I wet it, I don't know, it's probably either in my bedroom or the bathroom. So I don't have to flight it. That was the cutest gift and the best idea. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So I hope you guys are having a great day, a great week. I did a mail haul, but I'm going to wait until more people come in and tell you about my crazy day. I finally made it to the post office. Up all those stinking steps, all those stinking steps for anybody who would like to drop their link, put exclamation mark GQUAT. Okay, so let me go back to the chat. Maria, I know you had a busy day. Now you see what it feels like when your dear big sister, Auntie Ellen, has to make all those different appointments in one day, going up and down steps. It just makes you tired. I sat down just a minute before you guys came in and just to put my legs up. Not, oh, that didn't sound right. Pause, put my right leg up. Oh, thank you, Maria. You like these earrings? They were a birthday gift by a family member. And I was messing around. That's how I forgot my clip, messing with everything else. I have a question while we're waiting for a few more people to get in. How many how many people give cards out? Maria Graham is one of the people my sister Joanne Stevens and I were talking about who always sends the nicest cards. She always writes the nicest messages in there. Very few people take the time to do that anymore. And I just want to say thank you, Maria Graham. Thank you for all the little things that you do. I appreciate each and every one of you. I went to my post office. I just threw the envelope down, or I would show it to you. One of my neighbors, one of my neighbors, no, lives right here in the building, and she mailed a Thanksgiving card to me. And Maria Graham says, I do. She was answering how many of you send written cards. They're so expensive. And then you have to go to the post office. The postage is so expensive. It cramps your lifestyle. It really does, especially if you are trying to live in a budget. This card says, thinking of you and sending your way a wish for a wonderful Thanksgiving day. And it says, love always, and my friend's name, and her cat, and her cat. When she's not able, I'm allergic to cats, but when she's in the hospital or has something medical and can't make it go home, I go up and feed her cat. I don't change the litter box, but I do go up and take care of our cat. Isn't this cute? Gobble, gobble, gobble. My great great grandson, who is in kindergarten now, made the cutest piece of art. I I, I want to see if I can. Well, first of all, pull up the chat, and he made a turkey out of clay, and it is so original. So I guess my artistic genes are passed down in that branch of the family. And I will show you. Oh, I didn't save it. Hold on 1 second. Well, I will show you this handsome little guy's school picture. Look at him with all four teeth missing. How cute is that? Oh, that's right. Boys aren't cute, they're handsome. But I want to show you his. I will show you his artwork. Just a moment. I'm trying to look for it. Oh, it's in the family chat. How cute is this? It's a clay turkey. How cute is that? Blue Lotus, thanks for coming. In the bushes listening. Maria Graham said, he's so cute. I think he is. I think he is. And this little man. And I like the way some of the clay, or maybe it was at the end of it, and he ran out and he kind of mushed the different colors together. Let me pull up the chat so we can get on topic today. On topic. Just a moment, you guys. I thought I was ready. I was ready. My screen looks better to me, even if I asked Apple how they recommended that you clean the screen, because even your glasses, Lotus 728, thank you. They say not to put dishwashing soap on them because my eyeglasses have the blue blocker in them, but they get smeary. They get whatever, and you want to clean them, or it could take the bluing out, something like that. But Apple said to use. I don't know if you guys have ever done it. They told me to use hand sanitizer, the pure hand sanitizer. I use the original one, the brand name. Some of the others have all kinds of lotions and stuff in it. And I use that to didn't clean my cell phone. It's always a smeary mess. But I use it to clear the screen on my computer, and it seems like it's a little clearer. It's like in your car, the thanks for hitting the thumbs up button, you guys. It's like when you're driving in the wintertime and your windshield is kind of smeary, that little cloud. Then when the other lights come, it like grays it out. So that's what I think was happening here. What else do I want to talk to you about before we work on our project? And I will be showing you how to quilt with a walking foot, one of my miniature wall pieces, a mini quilt. And it's a sister piece to the one up there on the top. I changed that around because we're getting ready for the Christmas quilts things to go up. But the quilt up there, this is an art quilt. I have a lot of small quilts. I'm not making any big quilts because number one, fabric is so expensive. It takes so much. I have 60 quilts waiting for me to quilt them, and I just want to be able to do art quilts. I do have one Underground Railroad story quilt that I will show you. A couple of small pieces over there on the sofa that I took out to show you. Oh, I'll show you when I go over there because I don't want to make you dizzy. And what else have I been doing that I wanted to show you? Oh, one of my neighbors gave me a book. It's pretty old. I grow herbs. I collect herbs. I've been an herbologist, I guess you could call it, since at least my son was a baby, and that was like 50, 55 years ago. And it's called The Doctor's Book of Herbal Home Remedies. Cure yourself with nature's most powerful healing agents. Well, I have a lot of books about herbs. Tori's Brain, thank you for coming, good sir. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Hola, Yankee Sister Olmsted. Thank you, sis. I was in your bushes this morning. I was doing other things. Oh, this is funny. For a bookmark, this person had an alcohol pad. I don't know if she was diabetic or not, but it happens to be in the page where it says turmeric. I didn't grow any turmeric this year or ginger. The squirrels dug it all up. I tried. I will try again next week. Hi, Tisharia. Welcome in. I saw you exercising. I don't know whether I was in the bushes or late this morning. And you were working out. I admire your tenacity. I have to because when you get my age, things start falling apart. I thought I saw a book tag in here or something when I was flipping through. I'm surprised this book is in English because this lady speaks Hebrew and Yiddish, but I guess her family got it. And it's really easy to read. Really easy to read. So I will just add this to my library. All those books up here are research books that I've read or used or both, use them for references, and I will use this to compare with others because I just like books, real books, not the things, although I do Google and look things up on the internet. I like things I can touch, feel, that I know they're real, know they haven't been tampered with, all of that stuff. Mike says we're innocent. He must be talking about the squirrels, or let me go in if I'm out of my own ads. Mike, Mike, Mike. Okay. I look at so many videos that mine. Oops, wrong one. That's what happens when I'm in the bushes and don't have my glasses on, and I try to type. I go back and I'm like, who in the Lord's earth, did that? Wrote that? It is funny. Let me tell you guys quickly because it takes me a while to go to the post office. They're not here right now, but Nikki, the Everyday Life of an OCDist chick, has a package that I sent out with, oh, Nancy. Oh, what's Nancy's channel? Oh, I can't think of it right this second. But I mailed their packages after the, Mike said, yes, squirrels, LOL. After I went to the post office on Saturday, up all those steps, and the windows were all closed, and it wasn't lunch hour. I went back again yesterday, and boy, the devil's busy. He's trying to trick me into my PTSD having an episode. I went into the post office and I had 8 of the fabric postcards. Well, to mail the fabric postcards, there's a little plastic sleeve that you put it in, and I already had pre-purchased forever stamps. Whenever I buy stamps for anything, I buy forever stamps because they're always changing the freaking price. I put on each one of these envelopes my return address because I sent a postcard to GT Junior Grows in Alaska and it never got there. I sent another one and I said, well, I don't know what happened, but they can't return it because a postcard doesn't usually have a little address area because they're small. Mike, Marie Graham said, your squirrels love you. They should. They're the fattest squirrels, other than the ones over here are raping and robbing my garden. Oh, I didn't say that word. Taking and robbing my garden. I went up the steps and I had 2 packages to mail. I sent Psalm 146, and the gentleman that sent me the fabric, I sent him what did I send him? 2 mug rugs. And I put those up, paid for those. Now the stamps were already prepaid that I had on the envelope. And the guy looks at me, hey PIA, this might do you well, PIA, because you're always making things and you may get to the point when you want to make fabric postcards because it's so expensive to mail everything else. The guy's looking at the postcards, and these are collectible works of art, just miniature, just like these, just like this piece up here, and the one that I'm going to on with you today. This was all scraps. When I was in Arizona on my monthly vacation, Nancy, our treasured home, could not think of your screen name for anything just now, but your package should be there any day if it's not there. I went back again because they take so long. I wanted them to hand cancel each of the fabric postcards. And the man looks at me and says, they're not paper. I said, sir, I didn't say they were paper. These are fabric postcards. I'm an artist and I have been sending these out for years. There are groups of people who send them intercontinental, around the world, and we trade them. It's a way of collecting art. This man looked at me and said, I'll let you slide. Let. I said, well, that's very kind of you because I'm a tax-paying citizen and I have the right to mail my things at the same rate that everybody else in the country mails theirs for. Then he was a big tall guy. He's looking around like he's trying to find people to talk to. And he said, well, I've been working 7 years. I said, 7 years, good for you. That's a lucky number. I like sevens too. And I said, well, is the postmaster here? Because he's the one that ordered these stamps and sold them to me. The postmaster wasn't there. This guy wanted to go on and on with his neck up in the air, telling me, I said, you know what? My insurance didn't pay my PTSD counselor this last month. So I don't want to call her. She will take me for an emergency if I escalate. I said, I'm not going to let the devil trick me into being bad. So I just looked at him. I said, okay, I'll let you let me. And I said, Ellen Pankey, just be quiet. Just be quiet because you know your nerves are twerked and you're about to be bad. And he took the he took the each one, he hand stamped it. I said, "May I use your Scotch tape, please?" Because I my Scotch tape is in one of those heavy desk dispensers, and he pushed it up on the counter. So I asked him, "May I take it to the other counter so he could wait on other people?" After he hand canceled all of mine with the that little red stamp with the date on it, because that lets you know that it was authentically mailed. Yankee Sister said, "Hope your sister and Uncle Roscoe are well. I didn't talk to them today, but I will tell them that you asked about them. Sometimes they have doctor appointments or medical things that they're working on." And let me see if I can pull this down without making music or something funny come on. Okay, back to the chat. Thank you. This guy, this big idiot in the post office, I was seething. I was seething. He was performing, and he finally, like, what did he finally say? I'll let you, I'll let you go this time. Like, see, the bad things happen in post office because of people like this idiot. I went to the counter and, oh, before I paid for the other two packages, I they have a little thing in the post office, a smiley face, a face with a little just straight across, meaning happy, mediocre, or a mean mug. A mean mug. I put the mean mug on it, and he knew it. He knew it. Nope, I did not get good service, and you will not pass 200 get $200 and pass go today. After I put the mean mug in there, then he turned nice. He gave me the Scotch tape. So I went to the other counter and I Scotch taped the side of each of those little plastic things like this. The plastic sleeves, I Scotch taped them closed. So you guys will get them at some point. At some point. And then I left there. You know, during the holidays, people get depressed. People are sad. I'm never sad. I'm never unhappy. I don't like some things, but I have a support system that keeps me up. And if nothing else, I go do my art. And I think maybe that's why I was getting irritated. Hello, Denzel Cooper, and welcome in. And I said, I'm not going to let stupid people upset me. I left there and went to go and get some gas because the the sensor came out of my car when I got back from seeing mom. Then after that, I went nearby to see my doctor and I didn't fill the car up with gas. I went to the gas station and the pump that I usually use, the first one had a bag over the end of it, wasn't working. The others were filled with cars going in different direction. So I went in in a line to use the to pay for the gas. Mind you, I only had a half hour from the time my helper left here at 1 o'clock until my 1:30 appointment for my physical therapy. And I'm dealing with all these idiots and having to go up and down all these steps by myself. There was somebody like a little bit in front of the pump and he was just sitting there. So I waited like 3, 4, 5 minutes. I tapped the horn just a little bit to let, hey, are you going? What's going on? And all of a sudden the reverse lights come up and I see the white light like the car is backing up towards me. I'm like, whoa, let me back up. Then I'm like, what is this idiot doing? So finally he pulled away. All I had time was to put $20 worth of gas in the car because I had to hurry up. It takes a long time to put $60, $70 worth in. But that's how my week was going. But I got all the mail out that was supposed to go out. So that made me feel good. What we will be working on today, you guys, is finishing a small art quilt. And I'll show you some other feet that you can use on your domestic sewing machine. I put a walking foot on there, and today this is just a small art quilt that I also did with the scraps that were just on my sister's table in her scrap box when I was in Arizona. And I just picked them up, and I think even these that I used for a little mini border came out of hers. They must have, because I didn't bring any fabric with me to Arizona. Today I put just a little neutral color backing on, and I did a little stitching in the ditch over here, which is what we're going to do over here, just to hold it down. And I used black thread on the top and a light color thread on the back. I don't usually do that, but I was going to put a black thread on the back, but this doesn't need that much quilting. The purpose, what quilting actually is when you stitch 3 layers of fabric, the top, the batting, and the backing together to keep it from slipping. Maria Graham says, beautiful colors, nice Hermana. The reason they kind of match, I threw the orange in, is because my sister matches things. Thank you. Thank you. And it's an original piece made with just scraps of fabric. Literally, none of them were. This corner might have been less than 2 or 3 inches. But you know what's interesting? I want to show you over here. This mask, this little purple mask that I intentionally put in that corner, when I designed it, I put it. Look at it up close. I thought that was the corner of it. But then when I was turning it all around to stitch in the ditch and I turned it this way, I realized that the mask could be either way. So when I finish putting the binding on it, I'll put a little hanging sleeve, and I'll let you guys vote on which way you think should be the top, with the purple guy down the bottom. I kind of like the yellow up in the corner, like the sun comes up that way, like the sun is in the sky. But when I originally designed it, I did it this way. Which way do you like it? And I think I like all that orange. Looks kind of reddish this way. So let's go over and I will show you how I'm going to finish it. Hold on 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay, whoops. Whoops. I went to get, I thought I had the masking tape because that's one of the things you can use to mark your work. And it will be difficult to see black on black on black, black thread on black fabric. I usually like to sit in front of this window when I'm hand sewing. I know you can't see my whole face, but I wanted you to see the table over here. Okay. Can you guys in the moderators make sure I didn't accidentally hit somebody's name and put them on the timeout or anything? These are my handy dandy quilting gloves, and I will pull you closer. Mike likes to be up close. You can take tape. I just took this tape, for example, to show you to mark it to stay straight. I have what is known as a walking foot on here. And what a walking foot does is when your sewing machine is sewing, you have fabric up here and you have feed dogs in the bottom. And the feed dogs, no matter what you do, they move the fabric forward. In fact, you see people holding on, sewing for dear life. You can sew with just two fingers on it. The machine will pull the thread through by itself. One thing that's different with this piece, I don't know if you notice that this, you can actually purchase, let me put the bell over there, black batting. I didn't want little white beards sticking out of my fabric, so I purchased some years ago some black batting, especially for fabrics when I have like the Kona black. I love the Kona black with these African fabrics. These are all scraps of authentic African fabrics and maybe a few blenders. And I put that together. What I'm going to do this evening, I have tacked down the little parts in the middle. I'm going to stitch in the ditch. PIA asked me about that once before. Stitching in the ditch means stitching exactly where the seams are. And when you're doing it, normally you put your hands so that you're like almost pulling it apart so that the stitches will sink themselves down into the seam and give it a little direction. Oh, I deleted one of Mike's messages again. Oh, Michael, I'm so sorry. Forgive the auntie. Forgive the. Can you imagine me in you all's live stream when I'm watching on TV and typing on stuff without my glasses? I even have on my super coolers right now. So this is what we're going to do. And but first, let me show you something. The walking foot, in order to put the walking foot on, it has a little hand like a little crab, and you put that on a screw that's on this side of the sewing machine. And then you physically take the screw that holds all of your feet and you loosen it and put this one on. I hate changing, most people hate changing the feet because you have to, when you have to unscrew it, put it back, it's time consuming and it's just annoying. Most of the time, what we use is this. It's called a universal foot, and it usually comes on most modern sewing machines. But what it does is you can release a little clip over here and drop the whole foot and just simply slide another one on. What I did with for my birthday, I invested in a couple things. I bought a new walking foot. Then I bought a couple of feet that go to the universal foot that's an authentic 1/4 inch foot for when I like to use a scant 1/4 inch. I've been quilting long enough that I know a 1/4 inch, but it's a regular 1/4 inch. When you want a scant 1/4 inch, you need to make it extra thin And why? Because when you're doing matchy stuff, you want the blocks to um to come back. Yankee's sister saying, "Come back to the light, Mike." Auntie Ellen did something. Mike, let me know you can talk. Mike, are you here? Are you here, Mike? You guys, can somebody make sure? Yankee sister, can you make sure that he's okay? I I don't know. So what I'm going to do is this piece, I'll put this tape down, because what you can do to make sure you have a straight line, you can use, because this is black fabric, I can use this tape and see it, or masking tape. I got ready to get up and get the masking tape, but it fell behind the bookcase over there, and I can't move it, so I have to find another way to get it. And I want to show you the stitching on this machine with the walking foot on it. A stitch on a sewing machine meets like halfway. The top should look exactly like the bottom. You should not be able to tell it apart. I don't know. I put this close. If you can see how nicely it's stitching there. If I could hold it, if I didn't breathe, I probably could. So this is how it's sewing, and I'll put the tape down. Maria Graham, remember where I put it. PIA, are walking feet in universal? Do you have to get one? Now, that's the thing. They're sort of kind of universal PIA, but this one I intentionally bought because I had a universal one on this Singer heavy duty. This one I bought specifically for a Singer sewing machine. So I put a Singer walking foot on the Singer machine. But yes, you do have to get one for your machine, but you can ask even on Amazon, which is where I ordered these. You can order the Singer shop. There's like a Singer featherweight shop, but they're very knowledgeable about all Singer sewing machines. I have a Singer sewing machine on the floor that is 60 years old because I got it for a graduation present from my parents in 1966. So, yes. And what it does is, when you're using thick fabrics, when you're using batting, you're sewing leather, it lifts the piece up so that it walks across. You know how the Caterpillar construction machine has those ridges so that it can grip and go over rough terrain? That's kind of what it does for a regular sewing machine. Now, I'm going to put this away because I bought a 1/4 inch foot, and what I found out is there's a new piece of equipment. There's a piece of equipment that you can attach to one of these PIA, and those of you who sew on the universal foot, it's called a stitch in the ditch foot. And what it does is, where this little crack is on the bottom, it has a little line that you can actually put down in the ditch. Yes. So I hope that answers your question, Tracy. If not, ask me another one. I'd be happy to answer for you. You need 14 my Singer for your Singer heavy duty. They're not that expensive. I would get I will put in the link. I'll put in the description at the end of here a link to get the exact one I have. And I love this one. You see how it has this one stitching. The other one I had, I know I Used to use it in between my brother machine, all different machines. I mostly use Singer though. I've been using Singer. That's the one I learned on in childhood. My grandmother had Necky and some other ones, also a Singer. What we're going to do right quick, we're going to stitch in these stitches. So I'm going to hide the comment so that you can see more of the screen. Let's see what that. Oh, that's even bigger. How about that? Well, Auntie is still pushing stuff, Mike. Look how big it got. Close. Okay, we will proceed to stitch along here. And because I have black thread in here, I'm going to stitch closer to the line that has this black fabric in it. Normally, if I have a neutral colored thread that I'm stitching with, just because in case you miss the ditch and fall out onto the highway, it's not visible. Okay, let's get to sewing. I'm going to first stitch in the ditch on the outer edges, and the walking foot has a tiny red dot right exactly where the needle is. I'm going to place it just inside the ditch. My allergies are acting up. I just had my gloves and I don't know where I put them. Oh, neatly filed on the floor. I will put on these, the cutest quilting gloves I've ever had, gifted to me by my sister Joanne Stevens. And they have these little grippers, but you can use just the ones from the dollar store or the buck and a quarter store and use them, and it helps your hand stick to the fabric a little easier. Do I have to have it for this tiny little quilt? No, but it makes it easier. All right. Nikki, the everyday life of an OCD-ish chick, your package might be there any day. They said 4 days, and that was Monday. A different post office idiot was there that time. I shouldn't say that because everybody that works in the post office is not an idiot, but the guy that I had. So I'm just stitching along my merry way. And the reason I have my hands here to steer it is because I pull my seam open so that it's seated down in there. Lord, I missed the ditch. I think I did. It's hard stitching on black at night, you guys. Okay. Here we go. Don't get old, you guys. Don't get old. You sent me a picture today, Nikki. Oh. I was probably in here doing a little stitching in the middle part of this piece, so that all I had to do was go around the edges in the dark time with you guys. And get to the corner, leave the, oops, sorry Hershey. My phone fell off the phone stand. Hershey's down there in his bed, but it missed him. Sorry, sir. Sorry, Mr. Hershey. Okay, here we go. Oh, I know I missed that time. Maybe I should take off these cute glasses and put on the Dollar Tree ones that are just all magnifying. Nick, if you guys have any questions, hold them 1 second and I will look up. Oh, I see where I missed over there. I might pick that out. I see where I went onto the cream color over there. I tell you, it's hard to see this at night. This black on black. I didn't do that side. I don't think, yes, I did. I stitched it so well I couldn't even tell that I stitched it. Just a second. And I'm going to back tag, lift it up, and cut the black thread on the top, cut this light thread on the bottom, and now I'm just going to stitch around this outer edge here. This time I'm going to actually try to be careful, stop looking up, and stay on the black part so I don't have to pick any stitches out. Oh, nobody will probably notice it, but I know it, that I did it. All right, around we go. Back tag. Oh, here's a piece of black string that I didn't see on top of the black. All right, do you guys have any questions? Let's go. Here we go. And I do have just a couple of basting pins holding it down. I'm being very careful this time not to put the black thread on the crowning glory. Oh, good deal. Just fell off the table. So this is the binding. I pre-made the binding to go on the edge of here. So this is how this is going to work. That's what I was doing today. Probably when Nikki was sending me a picture. And again, all this does is hold it down so that when you have a quilt on the wall or on your bed or you wash it, that it doesn't puff up and pucker. It keeps the 3 layers together so that not only is it warm, but it's attractive and keeps it from rubbing. You know, if it's very loose, it's going to rub, it's going to wear out more quickly. Now, I'm going across this little tan part, but that's okay because that will be underneath the binding. What is the weather like where you guys are watching from? Where are you watching from? It was pretty cold here in Connecticut, 6B. I say that because I'm a gardener, and what GQUAT stands for, those of you who are new watching in the bushes, is for gardening, cooking from scratch, quilting, all the arts, and the different traditions that have been passed down in my family for the 8 generations that I have been alive. And when I finish this, I will put a little hanging sleeve because this is just a little wall hanging, which I will have like when quilt shows come. I I'm a prolific quilter. I've been quilting. I've been sewing all of my life since I was like 7 years old in Girl Scouts. But oh, I see some black stitches over there on a little bit over there. I'm going to pick those out and redo them now, off camera. I've been sewing, but just quilting for the last 25 years. And I just love it. It's my favorite form of art. I'm a mixed media artist. I paint, I draw, I sketch, I do all the crafts, beading, sewing by hand, just everything I learned how to do. But quilting is what I really love, and especially art quilts. Why? Because most art quilts, there are no rules. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want. Nikki says it's 48 degrees in Maryland. Maria Graham is 75 in South Carolina. Wow. Mike hit the button. Mike, are you okay? I asked them to check on you early. Okay, well, Maria Graham, that's what I need for one of the moderators to help me with because I can't see the chat. And if somebody could reinstate him. Okay. Are there any moderators in the chat that can check on Mike? I don't know how to channel activity. I don't see. No. See this? It says 1 deleted message, 0 times out, and 0 hides. So I deleted a message, but I didn't time out anybody or hide. Maybe he just needs a break. Maybe he just needs a break. Maybe he had to go feed the squirrels. Maybe he had to go feed the squirrels. PIA says 36 degrees. All right. Okay, so Mike, I checked on you. Nobody, including me, timed you out or blocked you. I didn't even know that was a thing that I could check on. All right, so we're finished with the outside. I'm going to put this phone down here because it's I have padding and everything over here, but it's vibrating a lot. Oh, this is going to look so cute. When you do a really good job, you have to look. You can't even see where the stitching is. That's why they call it in the ditch. Because done properly, it really is. And it just, oh, I was very close to the line there. It just accents the lines that you have sewn. Oops. Oh, this is the last one. One more inch to go. It's like driving. I was skinning the line on that one. Good job, Auntie. I Okay, now, my hair was rubbing on my nose, making it itch. So I will show you. But you probably won't be able to see anything because the threads so closely match. All right. I will show you the back and you will see little lines real close. All right. Normally what I do is, hi Sissy, Joanne Stevens. Oh, look what happened. Look what happened, Sissy, when I went in your scrap box when I was in Arizona. I'm quilting this little piece, and I'll probably add some more quilting off camera because this black on black is crazy. What I will probably do is go back and just put some straight lines in here and do some echo quilting. For now, and I'm not going to get up and use a rotary cutter. I'm just going to rough it and cut around the edges here so that you can see the actual dimensions of this little quilt. It's hard to see the edges of the black of the quilt because the batting is also black. Perfectly matched. This side is done. Then this side, I'm laughing. I'm thinking about Mike. One of those squirrels probably rang his doorbell. I called him and say, "Hey, Pops, you know what time it is? How about a little snacky snack?" Are any of you making any hand gifts for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa? That's what I call it. I have a little bit more to go. I can see sort of on an angle where the two blacks are, the edge of this little wall hanging quilt and the black batting. I love this black batting. I saved it only for special things that had a lot of black fabric. I think I started with a 10-yard cotton bolt, and now I'm down to just the dregs. For those of you who are not winemakers, the dregs are what are left in the bottom of the container when you're making wine. Inky sister, it said when I looked, it said that there were no blocks in there. Are you okay, Mike? You were a ghost. I don't know what happened. Mike, you're back. Oh, but wait, Mike, hold on. Okay, Mike. Your moderation is back. Sorry about that. Auntie was hitting buttons. Hello, D.S. Smith, or whoever I miss. Hello to anybody. Mike, Mike, Mike. You're back and you're blue again. I asked if any of the moderators could check on you, but I guess nobody could. But it's fixed. Maybe it was just a timeout or something. Mino sabi kimasabi. Auntie, sorry. I'll have to make it up to you some kind of way, Mike. Look for some mail. Look for me to go to the post office and argue with that man again. And he gonna let me slide this time. Let me slide after I didn't pay my darn money for the stamps for the fabric postcards. And it doesn't matter whether it's paper or fabric. It doesn't, a postcard is a postcard. And I've been mailing it all this time, and he's gonna come up with that. Well, let's forget about him. Away with him. Away with evil Spot. Okay. Now, this is what this little quilt looks like. Did you guys decide with me? Do you like it with this yellow on the top and this little mask on the bottom? Or, since we know the mask can go either way, do you like it with the mask, this mask down here, going this way? Do you like it? Tell me in the chat. Do you like the yellow? D.S. Smith, hello and welcome in. I'm highlighting this so I can find you after. But you know what? D.S. Smith seems like I know that name from something else. And now they're doing something funny with the names. I actually changed mine to GQUATTRADITIONZS, Miss Ellen Pankey. I'm still your auntie. I'm still your auntie, your sister, your auntie, sister, mother, not your brother, whatever. And you can, there it is, or not, show. No, I don't want to do that. Hide that one. Show that one. And down the bottom, it says, thank you for visiting. We appreciate each and every one of you. There's my email address to contact us. Your time and all gifts are appreciated. And there's the Cash App down the bottom. Big Rooster and a couple of you sent money for my birthday. I did go out and purchase 4 yards of pink fabric that will be used for breast cancer quilts. And I will be mixing them with other pink quilts. So here is this little quilt. Let's see about what size it is. It will be about 15 and a half by, by 18. So it's a very small one. Wait a minute, Mike. Where are you? The button pushing. I don't even know where my phone is. Uh-oh. The fabric fell on my phone. Let me see if you're still blue, Mike. Let me go to the bottom. Oh. Oh, D. Smith said they've been here before. I'm all over. Thanks for coming back. Thank you, D. I love the pop of yellow at the top, too. All right, all right, all right. Let me put the phone over here where I can't touch anything. Child, don't get old, I tell you. Stop that. Mother, Egowamote. Auntie Joanne says the yellow is fabulous. Shit, that's her favorite color. And it came out of her stash. Now, what we will do is look at this strange binding. What I like about this today is I started to go in my stash of fabrics. I have leftover bindings. D. Smith said the yellow is pretty. I think so too. It reminds me of like the sun shining. The sun shining. And we're going to put this binding on. And I usually start in the middle somewhere along the back or whatever. We don't really need these pins here, but I'll leave them there to keep them from slipping. And we will overlap. I'm putting the binding on for the front because I know that this will be a hanging quilt and or a show quilt, and I hand sew the binding onto the back so that it's not visible. All right, let's rock and roll and sew this binding on. I'm doing this to show you that you don't have to be intimidated by binding, or trying to find this 1/4 inch line over here. I'm using this foot for the first time, back tack, and these stitches seem mighty small. I'm going to move it up to 3.5. Okay, and in the dark I will put a pin to let me know where the corners are. Those of you who are content creators, put exclamation mark GQUAT in the chat to share your channels. Let me look and see if it's sewing through all these. Yeah, those are very tiny stitches. I guess because of all of the thickness of the fabric. So I have 2 layers of the binding, 2, the layer with the top 3, the batting 4, the backing 5. So we're sewing through 3 layers, which is why it helps to have the walking foot on. It keeps it flat. It keeps it from buckling up. I actually didn't want to take that pin out because that's where I want to stop sewing this side to miter the corners. And I have lots of videos on mitering the corners. I'm just going to backstitch over there, and I'm going to leave the needle down and do a little. I'm going to touch this keyboard, then I can't touch it. It's me and that phone. That's why I'm not in people's chat at night. Mike says type exclamation mark GQUAT to drop your link and connect. Okay, leave your needle down and go off to the corner. Off to the corner. Punish myself to the corner for punishing Mike. You know, Auntie's so sorry. I'll make it up to you. I'll just go to the post office and argue with that man and do something special for you, Michael. It's that time of year anyway. So, okay. I don't need these pins in here anymore because we are finished sewing it. Then we make, okay. Let me hide this so I can make it bigger for you all. I fold this on a diagonal line and turn it and go the other way. I see the backing here I didn't cut that close to it, so I'll just trim that off. Now I'm going down the other side. This is just a quick little, it was actually a quick little quilt. I did it on one of the live streams from Arizona. Now I'm finding the 1/4 inch line over here, and I'm going to the back stitch and go forward. And with the walking foot, it's really easy to sew through 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 layers. Really no intimidation with binding. Oh, well, maybe a little at first. the binding is going to set it off. This binding was already made. You guys, when you start sewing, it's like when you're cooking. I always buy a little bit more than I need for that meal. Or when I'm prepping, I always cut a little bit more fabric. I always sew a little bit more. Today, when I decided to do this, the all of this 2.5 inch fabric that I'm using for the binding was cut. I must have used it on the binding for something else because I had one piece done and I just had to put two more little pieces on it. My sister always gets on me. She says, Sissy, stop saying it's easy. Stop saying it's easy. It's it's easy after 50 years. I'll put it that way. Once you've been doing it 50 years, it will be. But you just get used to it. You just keep going and going. It's like making gravy the first time. Like after you've been cooking a long time, you know that like if you put 2 tablespoons of oil in, you put 2 tablespoons of flour and mix it around. If you don't do that, sometimes you get lumpy gravy, you whatever. It's like anything. When you practice long enough or keep doing it, it'll come naturally. And then sometimes it'll mess up. That's just life. Most things about sewing, it's not like dealing with wood. The things about sewing is that you can always pick it out, start again, get more fabric, do it over. Unlike with wood, you you cut a cabinet in half or measure it wrong, you've got to go buy another cabinet. Sewing quilting is forgiving. And when you're doing original patterns, original art, I've had books where they have like 1,000 different block types, all of the traditional blocks. I have made every one of them. I can do them mostly blindfolded, underwater in the dark. Now I don't I don't like doing those. I don't enjoy that. I like making up stuff. I never do a pattern, even if I'm in a group that's doing a special project. I never do it ex- exactly like it says. I always do something differently because I want mine to be different. That's just me. All right, we're coming down. I'm going to stop sewing on this edge when I get to within a 1/4 inch of the edge. How will I know it? Because I put a pin there to mark it. I'm going to need to leave the needle down and again go over there. I see something funny going on over here. Cutting with the scissors. Looks like I missed a piece on the side. Hold on, you guys. That's why a rotary cutter is better, but you don't have to use a rotary cutter. When my grandmother was quilting, all she had was scissors, a needle, a hand needle, or one of my grandmothers, and usually a ball of white thread and one needle. Daddy said she used to send him to the store sometimes and say, Joseph, go to the store and get a size 8 quilting needle. I used to always sit and listen for hours, Daddy's stories about the country life. He grew up in North Carolina, but he said he didn't want his children to know how he was raised because he had a hard life and he worked 3 jobs all of our lives so his children could end up spoiled like me. All right, Sissy. Auntie Joanne will tell you nobody else is as spoiled as me. I accidentally got like this because I was a daddy's girl and he had more time in on this thimble too. Yes, and grandma always had a thimble and grandma always had her apron on. Always had her apron. Our grandma Della. She kept an apron on. a funny story. The helper that I have now, my temporary helper, my other one had some, I guess, health issues. Okay, I'm putting this on a 45-degree angle again, creasing it with my fingernail, and I'm turning to go in the other direction. Let me redo it because I was talking and looking up, and I don't know if I actually got it on the 45-degree angle, or is that a 90? And I fold it down and I go. Okay, here we go. I like to start a little bit in. Somehow this needle is not all the way up, but I can't see it. A little way in. I didn't like the way that sounded. So I will take it out. Even with the walking foot, it didn't feel like it was caught. And since I didn't pin it, let's do it again. It's funny. Although this is going rather well. Excuse me 1 minute, you guys. I know that I'll get to the chat in just a minute. It seems like when you go live, you can do things 100 times in your life in what you do, and as soon as you go live, something messes up. Up Designs, thank you for coming and welcome. I hope I spoke to each and every one of you, that I didn't miss anybody. I'm just sewing this little binding with mitered corners on this one of a kind original wall hanging that I accidentally stole from my sister out of her scrap box. I didn't steal it. She said I could take anything I wanted out of there. And she gave me access to all of her fabrics that she actually owns. But I didn't need any fabric. I was just doing something with nothing because I wanted to show, when I was going live from Arizona, that you can make something out of nothing. This whole piece, except for the black on the edges, was made out of scraps, small pieces of fabric. And I love sewing through all these thicknesses with this walking foot. And this new walking foot PIA is a dream. And it was for cheap on Amazon. And tomorrow is Black Friday. So you could probably get some kind of a deal. I'll put the link in the chat afterwards. PIA for the Singer walking foot. Okay, we're coming up to the third corner. I saw somebody doing this a couple weeks ago. I don't remember who it was. And they had a question about when you get to the corner, but I didn't say anything because I didn't want the people in their chat think I was trying to be a know-it-all. I actually do know it all when it comes to quilting, though, because I've been sewing for so long, and quilting was just another dimension of it. Auntie Joanne's been sewing forever too, you guys. Just embroidering, crewel, macrame, a lot of stuff. We grew up doing that. Oh no! Oh wait, I don't think the thread broke. It's just black and I can't see it. Okay, take this pin out and swivel to the corner. Swivel to the corner. Oh, it did. Oh my goodness. When the thread tangled up before, it did break. I sewed that whole side with invisible sewing. Invisible sewing. I tell you what. I tell you what. Let's talk. Let's have a big girl talk with Auntie. Okay, let me see what time it is. So we've been in about an hour and 20 minutes. I will get ready to end. 755. Hello, sweetheart. If I didn't say hello before, what we're doing is just adding this cute little binding going along here because you will be spending the night with me in the dark, threading black thread in this needle and sewing on black fabric. So it'll something easy. And Saturday, I will bring you all on and show you that it's finished. What I will do with this, and you see the mitered corner. You see how nicely that corner is over there. So it'll be on the perfect angle. And then I flip it under, and hand stitch it down. It won't take long at all. Sissy said, "Oh no, time to stop." Yes, we're talking about invisible sewing, black thread on, and I will put a hanging sleeve. I think I have a couple hanging sleeves and unbleached muslin already done. And I have other videos where I've gone through the whole thing and hand sewn it, and it feels really good, you guys. Or do you have any questions? Well, thank you for watching. Ego Amote, Mother. Ego Amote. I love each and every one of you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. And I will see you Saturday at 6 p.m. And we'll talk about whatever I'm cooking for Thanksgiving because I'll be doing my shopping. Okay. Thank you.